Spousal support, also known as alimony. Do you have to pay it? Are you entitled to it? If so, how much and how long? My name is Rachel King. I'm a strategic litigator, and I have to say that without a doubt, money in a divorce is like the biggest hot topic, point of contention, even more so maybe than child custody and visitation. Now, oftentimes, child custody and visitation are used as a leverage point to reduce or to figure out a child support issue. So we're not really going to talk about whether that's a good idea, but I acknowledge that it's a thing. For this, let's talk about spousal support. First, spousal support varies a lot by jurisdiction, and jurisdiction is the state that you live in. So for this, I'm going to talk specifically about California. I'm licensed also in Texas, Kentucky, and Arizona, and let me tell you, even just those 4 states differ hugely on spousal support. So come at me with all of your comments, but realize that I'm speaking specifically to California, and you, like it or not, need to talk to an attorney in your jurisdiction to find out about your spousal support laws or how it will affect you personally. Okay, so spousal support. There's this idea that we need to make each party have the standard of the marital standard of living. Here's the thing. While you're married, you have one bucket of money, right? Now that could be one person that is working, or it could be a dual income household, or maybe even a multiple income household, right? Maybe everybody's got side hustles and double jobs and all of that stuff. In any event, when you're in a relationship, you have like this one bucket. And it's got all of the money that is coming in that is being used to support that one marital household. So while we like to consider what the marital standard of living is, in real life, it is virtually impossible. I would say impossible, but I'll have the haters come and get me, to take that exact marital standard of living and duplicate it, because you still only have that one single pot of money. So how do you take one pot of money supporting one household and then expect that same pot of money to support 2 households on divorce? It just simply doesn't happen. Financial change is inevitable in a divorce. However, it doesn't mean that it is going to impact you necessarily for your whole life. So how much is your spousal support going to be? Well, that oftentimes depends on the length of marriage, the income levels of both people, the ability of both parties to earn income, and some different factors like that. Payor, the person paying support, man, I get it. It's a rough, big, huge, awful pill to swallow. I hear it over and over again, and I understand that point of view. But the law says that in most cases, the higher wage earner is going to pay the lower wage earner spousal support. What that looks like and how it does is very specific to your particular case. Supported party. You might get support, but you're not going to be getting enough to maintain the marital standard of living because, again, we're dealing with one pot of income. Also supported party, the law really wants you to become self-supporting as quickly as possible. I'll also say, just from an individual standpoint, I'm no therapist, but why would you want to be reliant financially on your ex? God, that sounds awful. So in both cases, there could be a spousal support, but it's not going to be great for either one of you. The payor is probably going to be ticked off, and the person receiving is probably going to be ticked off. And that's why you hear people say that if both parties leave a divorce equally unhappy, then it was successful. If you don't like spousal support, don't bitch to me, or you can, it's fine. But really, you want to go and bitch to your congressman or complain to the powers that be about changing the laws, because right now these are the laws that we have in place, and the court is doing their best to enforce the laws and make orders that are in compliance with the law. One last little note is that judges in California, actually in a long-term marriage, have quite a bit of discretion over where they place you on a sliding scale for spousal support. So sometimes, like I always say in family law, if you can reach an agreement that's outside of the court that you can both tolerate, it might be better from a spousal support standpoint because you really don't know where a judge is going to come in on a long-term marriage spousal support order. And with that, like it, hate it, love it, whatever your feelings are on spousal support, we just talked a lot about spousal support in California.